What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Hot Take Tuesday. Episode 13 of Season 2 is officially here. We have 7 hot takes today, 6 from the Discord, and I got a little surprise at the end. I put my own hot take in there for a change, so I'm excited to get into this week's episode. A lot of hot takes, a lot to talk about. It might be a long one. Go grab a snack, go grab a drink, go grab some chips, or, soda, water. No, be healthy. Go grab a water, sit back, relax, and enjoy this show premiere. All right. So first of all, before we get into it real quick, make sure you like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. This is a great spot to be, a great community we're building. There's a lot to look forward to here. And if you enjoy Colts content, being involved in the content, NFL news, this is a place for you. You will not regret it. And most importantly, interacting with each other and feeling like a community, feeling like you're part of something. We're building something great. Be a part. You won't regret it. I promise you. So, first hot take we have here. No more blibber. I'm going on for 35 hours straight. No sleep. So, bear with me. First one is by Joshua Kissinger. Green Bay Packers make the playoffs with Jordan Love as quarterback. I like this one. I think a lot of people are writing the Packers off just because they don't have Aaron Rodgers. You take a look at this Packers roster, and it will surprise you. Now, I will say the weakness is the offensive line. It's definitely not up to Green Bay standards, but you look at the rest of this team. It's a well put together team. It's a good team. I don't think it's a horrible team at all, and it would not shock me to see them win this division. Now, I do think the Lions, the Bears, and the Vikings are going to be very good. I think this division is going to be very competitive. I think it's going to come down to the last week of who wins this division. Is Justin Fields going to be able to make that jump? Can the Minnesota Vikings get all that rub of just winning games at the last second? Because they can't do it for forever. Their defense is better. They're going to be getting some turnovers, get the offense some more chances, and get the ball into Kirk Cousins' hands and Justin Jefferson. I was going to say Dalvin Cook, but he's not even there anymore. So, Green Bay Packers make the playoffs with Jordan Love. Let's look at the defense next. The defense is wild. It's pretty damn good. They have talent from the defensive line to the linebackers to the safeties on every level. You look at the Packers defense here, you got some superstars. These are just some superstars. You got Kenny Clark in the middle of that defense. You ain't running on him. You have Devondre Campbell coming off the edge. Preston Smith is still there. And then at linebacker, you got Quay Walker. Devondre Campbell is kind of like a linebacker edge guy. But Quay Walker had an incredible rookie year. He's going to continue to get better. And then you go to the secondary. It's a deep secondary. You have some nice talent here. Jair Alexander, one of the best corners in the league, if not the best. I love him. He has great confidence. Not many cornerbacks have that confidence. Gold actually sent me a clip of his confidence and that kind of stuff. And that's impressive. You got to be like that as a cornerback. A lot of the best cornerbacks in the league have that chip to them. They have that chip on their shoulder. They have that chippiness. They like to open their mouth. And I think that's very good. It's good to get in the heads of receivers, and it just adds a whole nother element to your game. It helps you. It can. It's a double-edged sword. You could either let it help you or destroy you. Jair has let it build him. So you got Jair, you got Rasul Douglas, you got Stokes. There's so much talent on this defense, and there's no reason why that this team cannot make the playoffs. And then you look back at the offense. We talked about the offense line, not great. Look at the tight ends. You got Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, 2 young tight ends that can be some pretty nice playmakers. They're bigger bodies, harder for Jordan Love to miss them. And you got Christian Watson, the young and upcoming receiver. Who else do we have here on the offense? I don't remember who else we have. Jalen Reed. I like Jalen Reed. I like Romeo Dubes. There is a lot. The running game is going to help Jordan Love. Even if Jordan Love is, let's say he's a middle of the pack, I think this is going to be a year where we're going to see Jordan Love be a good game manager. Maybe he could be like a Jimmy Garoppolo. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting. That could run a little bit more. Maybe a Derek Carr. I think Jordan Love can have a good year. I don't think he's going to have a great year off the bat. Now, maybe he does. He sat for a while. We see what happens when you let quarterbacks sit, learn the game, and really get a feel for it before they get in there. He sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 2-3 years? Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Look at how Aaron Rodgers turned out. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. One Super Bowl, I get it. But, in the playoffs, maybe he's a little different. But he's one of the best of all time. You got Patrick Mahomes. He sat for a year. Look at him. He's the best quarterback in the league. And people already think he's top 5 all time, which, honestly, I can't say you're wrong. He's won 2 Super Bowls in, 4 years he's played? 5 years now, I think I think he's on. And then you get my point. He's one of the best players of all time, and he's probably going to go down as a GOAT. We're just saying Tom Brady is, and no one's going to ever repeat it. Mahomes isn't going to repeat it. He's going to do even better. So, Packers making the playoffs with Jordan Love. Like I said, the NFC is kind like that division itself is very competitive. But then you look at the other divisions, like the West, probably one team's going to come out of the West. No, you got the Niners. I think the Seahawks might come out of the West as well. The Rams, Cardinals, neither of those teams I'm high on. Both of those teams are probably going to have top 5 picks. The NFC East is very good. NFC South, probably one team out of there. Although I do think the Falcons are going to be better. The Falcons and Panthers are flying under the radar. I think the Saints, there's a good shot that the Saints win that division. We'll talk about that in a second. So you're leaving, probably 1 or 2 teams from, I wouldn't be shocked if 3 teams made it from the East, from the NFC East. 2 teams from the West, maybe the Seahawks. Say the Seahawks don't make it, you still have that extra wild card spot. And let's say the Packers don't win the division. But if they do, they're in, obviously, which I think they could win the division. There's probably going to be one playoff spot that's really going to be fought for. Probably between the Giants, the Seahawks, and the Packers. Or even another NFC North team. I'm going to go cool. No, I'm going to go warm. I'm going to say it's unlikely. No, I'm going cool. I think it's likely. I think the Packers make the playoffs. They have a really good team around Love. Now, I'm not going any more than cool and saying it's very likely. I'm saying it's the chance is there, the shot is there. I'm not going all the way because there's a lot of other teams. There's a lot of other teams competing for not only the division, but those 3 wild card spots. And for the Packers to get one, it's going to be very difficult. But the reason why I'm actually going cool and not very likely, yes, it's going to happen, is because we don't know about Jordan Love yet. We don't know. But I know the rest of the team around him is solid. So he can't be that bad. Maybe the offensive line isn't great and the receivers aren't great. So maybe the passing game will struggle. So maybe we're going to go warm. I'm going to say it's unlikely because there's some of these other teams. The Seahawks, Geno's been there for a year. We know it. Kind of know what he's got. The Giants, I would take the Giants over the Packers right now. We'll see. We'll see how the season shapes up. But I'm going to go warm. I'm going to say it's unlikely. I know kind of bouncing back and forth between that one. But that's a good one. I like that one. The next one we got here is from Silver Sabs. Eagles break the single season sack record this season. So we all know that the Eagles have a loaded front 7. That defensive line, not just the starters, but even the rotation. The guys that are going to rotate in are great players. So let's read off of the top 4 single season sack records. You got the Bears in 1972 with 72 in 1984. The Vikings with 71 in 1989. You got the Eagles last year with 70. So they had 70 last year, and you could arguably say that the defensive line got better, but maybe other parts of the defense got worse, like the middle of the defense. That's where I'm really having a hard time with the Eagles right now. I thought I just pressed my enter button and ended the recording. I was going to be livid because this is going to be a long episode. I got to get it done. I've got to get it on time. So, and then you got the Bears with 70 in 1987. But we know that the Eagles have a really good line. Now, the middle, I think, they got a lot of their sacks from an injured Giants offensive line. a subpar Washington Commanders O-line, an injury-riddled Cowboys O-line, and they played a lot of teams that just didn't have great offensive lines last year. And it's different this year. They're playing a lot better teams this year. The schedule is a lot more difficult. It's a very difficult schedule. So I'm going to go piping hot because 72 is a big number. It's piping hot. Maybe it's hot. Because they have all that talent. They do have Brandon Graham. He's in the twilight. He's older. Fletcher Cox, same thing with him. Fletcher Cox isn't even going to get you a lot of sacks. He's going to have a great presence. He's going to get you a lot of sacks. Not necessarily. Jalen Carter. I want to see how he plays before I go crazy over him, because I know he had some issues with his motor. He's great. He's fantastic. He's incredible. I want to see him play hard every single play. And if he doesn't, we're going to see it. Nolan Smith, a lot of people thought that was a steal. He is a very talented edge rusher, but I thought 30 was a good spot for him. Montez Sweat, he's a rotational guy. You got Jordan Davis, good in the run game. Derek Barnett. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 incredible defensive linemen, notable names there. And then you also signed Miles Jack, who can, come off the edge for you, a little bit. Do they still have Hassan Reddick? Let's see. I don't think Hassan Reddick is going to have a year like last year, though. Let's see. Hassan Reddick. Let's see if he's still on the team. You got... I don't see him on here. Oh, yeah, he's here. Oh, yeah. Yep, he's there. And then you do have Nakobe Dean as well. So you have 8 or 9 players that are more than capable of getting you a sack, of getting you sacks. I'm just going piping because that's a high number, man. That's a high number. Teams have some tape. Teams are going to know some weaknesses on these guys that played last year that played really well, some younger guys. It's possible, but I don't think Hassan Reddick's going to have the year he had last year. He's going to come back to earth. Hassan Reddick he's good. He's not elite. He's not great. He's not great at all. He's good. It's just he really took advantage of a great defensive line, and props to him. I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just saying Hassan Reddick is not what he looked like he was last year. Where was he in the most important game last year? Where was he in the Super Bowl? He did nothing. So I think it kind of shows there. But, all right. So, yeah, we're going to go piping hot. I did write down hot just because of how much talent is there. But I'm going to go piping. Because, that middle of the defense, like I said, they're going to be playing better offensive lines, better teams, better quarterbacks, which means the quarterbacks are going to be getting the ball out faster. They're going to be getting the ball out in the middle of the field because that's where the Eagles are going to... It's going to be rough in the middle of the field. Now, you can say that the line's going to get there quick, but if they can't cover the middle of the field at all, it's going to be rough. So then you got... All right, I'm going to pipe it hot. Next one we got here. Stones. The Super Bowl MVP will play for the losing team. So I think this happened once a long time ago. Let's see. Let me look it up fast. I forgot to look this one up. All right. Did a player ever win Super Bowl MVP on losing team? I think it was a Vikings player or a Cowboys player. Holly was named the MVP of Super Bowl 5 and is the only player on a losing team to receive that award. So that was Super Bowl 5. That was a long time ago. The NFL has changed. The way the game is played, the way the awards are given out have changed drastically. And I just think if you're in the Super Bowl and you don't win, and if that team doesn't win, they shouldn't get the MVP. It's just that simple. If you're and I get it. If you play like the best player in the Super Bowl, okay. And fine. But I honestly believe that you have to give the Super Bowl MVP to the winning team. It just doesn't make sense not to. You give it to the best player on that team because he is the one. Even though the best performance on another team, say it's the best performance in the game. the team still lost. So it's not all his fault. It's still a team effort, but it just doesn't make sense to give it to a losing team, in my opinion. It just doesn't. But the winning team, sure, the best player in there, they contributed to the win. They did win. I'm not saying that maybe the player that performed the best on the losing team in the entire game doesn't deserve it or shouldn't get it, but come on, man. It belongs in the winning team. It has to. It has to. So, I'm going to go piping hot. It just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. All right, then next one we got here. It's from F. ... In the Discord, I believe it's Fishmaster21. Usually do hot takes in the beginning a lot. Hasn't done one in a while, but I believe that's who this is. So, I just put F ... because that's what Discord said. Whatever Discord says, I will do. That's what I'm putting on the screen. So, the New Orleans Saints will win the NFC South. So, this is a division that is looked at as a pretty bad division. I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. I think the Falcons are going to be much better than people anticipate. They have a great system. Bijan Robinson is going to kill it year one. And then you have Tyler Algier, so you don't have to completely run down Bijan throughout, at the beginning of the season. And then you got the Panthers, young quarterback. They have some nice weapons. Defense is okay. Offensive line, tackles are good. The interior is bad. If that interior is bad, it's going to really make it difficult to help Bryce Young and open up those passing lanes, because especially since he's smaller, you're going to want to open up those passing lanes. If you can't do that, you're going to want to be doing a lot of bootlegs, getting him out of the pocket until you get the interior of the offensive line figured out. And then it kind of becomes predictable because you just got to hem him in the pocket and, make him throw from the pocket, which if the interior of the offensive line isn't very good and it's collapsing, he's probably going to struggle. He could throw from all these arm angles and stuff, and that could help him. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And the Bucs, they're not winning. But the Saints, a very good football team. They're very well balanced. I don't think there's a spot you look in that team and you're like, yeah, it's not good. I think the entire team is good. I don't think the team is great. Now, I think this could be one of the most fundamentally sound teams in the NFL, which can lead to major success. Now, in the playoffs, you kind of have to have that oof. You kind of have to have that superstar, that, an identity, and I don't think the Saints are necessarily going to have that identity. I don't think they're going to do anything great at a high level, but I think they could do everything at a good level. And if you can't do, and if there's nothing that you can really rely on, like can really go to, then it makes it kind of difficult to advance. That's where it becomes difficult to go from good to great. I love Derek Carr, and a lot of people are shitting on Derek Carr. I don't understand why. You look at Derek Carr and you look at the team he dealt with his entire career, brand new head coach every year or two. Just an unstable franchise. Never had a good offensive line. Maybe 1 year he had a good offensive line. He had good weapons once in a while. Never had a defense. Yet people were talking about the Raiders. Derek Carr is the only reason why the Raiders have been relevant this past decade. They would have been like the Cleveland Browns, if not worse, without Carr. Let's be honest. Now, does that excuse some of Carr's bad play last year and him just struggling at times? No. He's not the guy that's going to go and I don't want to say he's not the guy that's not going to go change the game, because he's done so much with the horrible team and a horrible franchise for so long. But until we see that he can take the game over, I think we have to look at it as he is a game manager and he's going to give you the absolute best chance to win every game you're in. I think he's maybe the tier above game manager, but not in game changer, if that makes sense. Like, he's right in between. He's very accurate. He's got a nice arm. Great leader. It's just we got to see him take it to the next level now that he has a great supporting cast, great weapon. So, Saints winning the NFC South, I'm going to go warm. I think it's likely. They're the most well-rounded team in the South, in the NFC South. But watch out for the Falcons. Watch out for the Panthers. Don't watch out for the Bucks. The Bucks aren't going to be, the Bucks are probably going to win the basement. They're going to be top 3 pick. That's what they're winning. Not the division. But I'm going warm with that one. Then we got Gold 4307. The Cowboys are first round exit. So if you guys have been following the show, you've known me over the past couple of months. I've been sounding like a lot of Cowboys fans. And a lot of my friends have been telling me, dude, it's getting scary. You're starting to sound like a Cowboys fan. Are you like going over or what? Are you done with the Colts? Absolutely not. I'm a Colts fan for life. That's never changing. But I just think that the Dallas Cowboys have a great football team. They have so much talent. CeeDee Lamb is a borderline top 10 receiver. You have, Zach Barton's a bit of a question right now. And Tony Pollard's going to be great. You got Deuce Vaughn. And you take a look back at the receivers. I only mentioned CeeDee Lamb, but you got Brandon Cooks, one of the most underrated receivers in the National Football League. You have, what was I going to say next? Michael Gallup. There's so many weapons on that team. And there's no reason that Dak Prescott cannot be great. I think he absolutely will. He is a great quarterback. And I will eat crow. I will eat shit. I will come on here and say if he doesn't play well and he proves me wrong, I'm going to have to make a video apologizing. Because I've been pumping up Dak Prescott, and I think he's a great quarterback. Great quarterbacks throw interceptions. Gunslingers throw interceptions. Brett Favre throwing the most interceptions in NFL history. Yet, he's considered one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. He's not scared of throwing those little windows. Yeah, you're going to throw interceptions. Yeah, it's going to make it more difficult on your defense. But that's why they also have a defense that is a turnover machine. So, the Cowboys being a first round exit. Let me give you this idea. Who said anything about them having to play in the first round? You hear me? Who says they're not going to win the division? Who says they're not going to be the number 1 seed? Okay, I'm really starting to sound like a Cowboys fan, but this team is so talented. It's such a good football team. Really is. Trayvon Diggs is a ball hawk. He got better last year in coverage. The year prior, he allowed a lot of yards, but he had a lot of picks. He's aggressive. He's like the Brett Favre at cornerback. And he does kind of have to work on his coverage a little bit. He does have to kind of find a middle ground because you can't be letting up all those yards. But he's picking that ball off, giving that lethal offense more chances to score more points. Tony Pollard's going to be incredible. Deuce Vaughn's going to be great. And then you have Stephon Gilmore on the other side as well, who's kind of like the opposite in a way. Like he's a ball hawk and he's aggressive. But he's not as aggressive as Trayvon Diggs. He's going to lock down. Stephon Gilmore will have no issue covering number 2s. No issue at all. That's light work. I know he's older and he's getting to the twilight of his career. But he's a very good corner. He's still very good. He's still got some gas left in that tank. Got some good safeties. Look at Malik Hooker, former Colt. He's been balling out. I'm happy for him. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence. You watch out for this Cowboys team. But them being a first round exit, think who's probably going to make the playoffs. So let's say they don't win the division, or let's say they just don't get the first round bye. If they get the highest seed, they're going to play the lowest seed, which may be the Giants, Packers. Should I throw the Commanders in there? Nah. The Seahawks. Some of those teams in there, maybe the Falcons. They're going to obliterate any of the teams they play. I know you guys aren't going to like what I just said, but they will have no problem with those teams. I believe so anyways. Can any of those teams outscore him? Outscore the Cowboys? Now, if they get a few interceptions, say the Giants are probably the biggest threat. The Falcons, maybe. No, I'd say the Giants. Well, no. The Giants would struggle with the new defense, with the new Wink Martindale defense. That's going to struggle against a Dallas Cowboys team. CeeDee Lamb, they play man a lot. Now, I'm interested to see if he will change it up playing a quarterback like this, but this is the problem he had in Baltimore. He was playing Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Burrow, Jackson, Brady. I think Brady was still there. It was probably torching them at some point. But this defense is flawed. It does not play well. The way this defense is ran, the way the scheme is, it does not play well against offenses like the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm not saying Daniel Jones is a bad quarterback at all. I think Jones is going to take a nice step this year. But does he have the weapons that Dak has? And maybe he won't throw as many interceptions. Maybe he'll be a little more fundamentally sound if you want to go with that. But I take Dak Prescott in that offense and Micah Parsons in that defense. I mean, that defensive line will absolutely give that Cowboys offensive line terrors. But Mike McCarthy's not going to have a problem game planning that offense. He's a great head coach. He struggled the last couple of years, and that might be the thing that he might be the issue with the team. He may be because the Cowboys have always had this playoff curse. So the history is not on the Cowboys' side, but they're going to be a very good football team. So the Cowboys being a first round exit, I'm going to go hot because they're going to, I think they're going to, if they are a wild card and they play one of the better teams, say they're 5. Say they're 5. They'll play 3 or 4, which would probably be the Bucs. Not the Bucs, which would probably be like a team from the NFC North or a team from the NFC South. And the Cowboys will not have any problem with any of those teams. I can tell you that right now. So, I think the Cowboys break the curse this year. I'm saying it. The Cowboys are going to break the curse. They're going to go to the AFC Championship. Holy gosh. 35 hours of sleep. 35 hours in a row, don't sleep. I mean, I would have said that anyway, so let's be honest. I'm JDW. I say shit like that all the time. I say stuff like that all the time. But I'm going hot. I don't think the Cowboys are a first-round exit. They have too much talent. They just have too much. And if they cannot break the curse this year, then I'll back off. But, I mean, if the team still has a talented team going into next year, I'm still going to be a bit high on them. Maybe not as high because I can't then. And they have a lot of players that are going to have to be paid soon. So that's another thing. They got to do it this year. If they don't do it this year, they may not ever do it. It may be another 3-4 years because they're going to have to fill in some of those important pieces. Last but not least, Red the Rat. No, not last but not least, because I threw one in here. Wait. Oh, I didn't change it. My bad. All right, Red the Rat. Colts will have at least one win. All right. This is a bit. I'm gonna go with freezing. The Colts. This isn't really that much of a hot take. I think they're gonna absolutely have more than one win. I don't see why they wouldn't. Do I think they're gonna win? Am I trying to say they're gonna win 7-8 games? Absolutely not. You know what? I was gonna go chill, but no, we have talent on this team. It's just how much will it come together? How long and how bad will Anthony Richardson be to start? And how long will it take him to develop into a competent passing quarterback? I'm going freezing. It's very unlikely that they, at the very least, have one win. they gotta have. I'm gonna say 3 or 4 wins, 3, 4, or 5 wins. That's my ballpark for the Colts. They have a lot on that team. We just have to see it convert. I've been saying for the past couple of years, and us Colts fans have been hyping them up too much. This is the worst team. The Colts are the worst team in the AFC South. They absolutely are. I don't think there's any question about it. The Jaguars are on top of the world. Well, they're not really on top of the world, but they're very good. If Trevor Lawerence can stay consistent, we're going to talk about him in a second. If Trevor Lawerence can stay consistent, watch out. The Texans are much better than people think. The Titans are a pretty good football team, whether you want to say it or not. Do I think they're great? No, I think they're an all right football team. The only team that I think is probably not at least average are the Colts. Maybe if you just look at talent and talent-wise, yes. But they're lacking in the most important positions, experience in the cornerback room. You can't count you can't make a prediction off of 1 or 2 players in the cornerback room popping off right away. You can't. It's unrealistic. You gotta be honest with yourself and be like, yeah, the rookies are probably gonna take a while to get used to the game. Julius Brents had a late start to training camp. Darius Rush is having injury issues. So this Colts team has a long way to go. Long way to go. But I think they're on the right path. They're going to bring in Kareem Hunt tomorrow for a visit. They signed Kenyon Drake. So they're kind of saying, JT, okay, you want to keep this up? No biggie, no problem. We're going to sign other running backs. We're not going to wait for you. I'm happy that they're not, Chris Ballard isn't sitting around and waiting and saying, yeah, we're going to let this room go. We're going to see if they could do it. We're going to trust them. We're going to let it play out. No, he's going out and making sure that the room's going to be good. I respect that about Chris Ballard. He's changing his ways a little bit, it seems. So I'm going freezing. All right. I threw my hot take in here. I wanted to throw this one in here this week. If you guys like me throwing my hot take in, let me know. Trevor Lawerence wins MVP. Is it piping hot or is it hot? Because it's one of those two. But I'm not going to make the argument. I'm not going to go ahead and say, as a Colts fan, I don't like when people do that. I kind of feel like that's an easy cop-out. Especially podcasters, fans and people I don't really look into as much, I completely understand. That's fine. But as podcasters, I feel like that's very, to me anyways, I just feel like saying, as a Colts fan, the Jaguars team is a great, Trevor Lawerence, I feel like that's an easy cop-out, if you get what I'm saying. I feel like it's an easy way to get out of explaining your thoughts and the why you're thinking that way. I think it's a very easy way. I think it's an easy cop out. Fans though, I don't have any problem with it, but I feel like me as a podcaster, I feel like it's better if it's best if you provide the information and why you're thinking that way. But Trevor Lawerence wins MVP. I'm telling you, man. If Trevor Lawerence can play at 60 or 70, or let's say half of what he played at in that second half versus the Chargers, he's going to be in the MVP race. Now, if he plays like that all season long, he finds consistency playing like that like he did in the second half, it would not shock me if the Jaguars have 14 or more wins. It wouldn't. It's a very good football team. It really is. The offensive line is getting better. The wide receivers are not bad. You have Calvin Ridley. Now, we got to see how he's going to be coming back, considering he didn't play in a while. You got to really give it a shot. No, not give it a shot. That's not the right thing to say. You really got to see if he still has it. Football, just being in shape and football shape are two totally different things. If Calvin Ridley can be 70% of what he was prior, that's going to be more than enough. Christian Kirk is great. Let's look at the Jaguars depth chart real quick. Jaguars depth chart. Let's see. Of course, you got Travis Etienne. Well, yeah, let's look at the wide receivers we were. You have Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Jamal Agnew. He has some good weapons. Now, if there's an injury or two to this room, then they're really going to feel it. But, man, I'm telling you, if Trevor Lawerence can find consistency, can be 80% of what he was in that, in that second half of the Chargers playoff game, all year long, 14 wins is 13, 12, 13, 14 or more wins is not out of the conversation. This is an incredible football team. They can be an incredible football team. They're led by a former Super Bowl championship head coach. I know he has some controversy around him, but you have to give credit and respect where it's due. I can't stand what he did back in Philadelphia and let Washington win. That's absolutely what it seemed like. I can't stand that, but you have to respect the fact that he is a good coach, if not great. So, Trevor Lawerence having another year under him, great. He is losing a few players. He is losing a few guys. Jim Bob Cooter went to the Colts. They lost a few pieces to that coaching staff, but I think Lawerence is going to be fine. At tight end, you got Evan Ingram, Luke Farrell is more than enough. But then you look at the offensive line, there's questions, but it's getting better. It has the potential to be solid. Walker Little, he really has to get his injuries under control. If he can't stay healthy, then it doesn't matter. He can be good. Cam Robinson is suspended, but he's not a bad left tackle. Blake Hentz, good enough. Luke Fortner, I don't really know too much about him, to be honest with you. I haven't looked into him. Brandon Scherf, he's good. Anton Harrison, he's a rookie out of Oklahoma, I believe. Not bad. I think he's going to be a good tackle. Now, this offense line does have some questions as I'm looking at it more. But I think Trevor Lawerence and Doug Peterson will make it work. In the defense. Now, we're just going to stick with Trevor Lawerence because this is going on too long. I don't want to have it going on too long. It's almost 40 minutes long. But Trevor Lawerence winning MVP. I want you guys to give me your thoughts on this one. I'm not going to give my rating. I want you guys, considering, it's mine, I want your guys' rating for this one. Is it piping hot? JDW, you're crazy, you're nuts, go to sleep. 35 hours straight, go to sleep. You need your sleep, you're going wild, you're dreaming. Hot? Okay, you're wild, you're crazy, but I can see where you're coming from. Warm? Alright, I think it's possible. I can get with that. Maybe. Cool? Yes. Okay. I think it's likely. I could see it. Chilly? Alright, now you're onto something. Absolutely think so. And then, freezing. 100%. You're absolutely right. He will win MVP. I want you guys to give a rating on mine. No, if I had to, I'll give you my rating now. I know I said I'm not going to, but no, I'm not going to. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I will put it in the comment section, what I think of this one. So, you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show, where every fan's welcome. If you enjoyed this episode of Hot Take Tuesday, I'm sorry it was 40 minutes, a lot to talk about. I really enjoyed this episode, really loved it, but let me know what you guys think. Thank you for tuning in to the JDW Sports Talk Show. If you enjoy Colts content, NFL content, if you like being involved in stuff like this, join the Discord. And every Tuesday, I will ask you for the hot take. And that's all I got for you guys today. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off. And here's the member. Oh, I don't have the member shoutouts in this one. Okay, hold on. Deactivate. Activate. And then we will put... I don't know, this was kind of scuffed. Member shoutouts. Thank you, Marsh, for becoming a member. When you become a member, you get on this screen every single video. You get shout out every single video. And you get participation, first in line events. I read your comments first. Leave it at that. Peace out.